Blackstone Audio presents Stained Glass by William F. Buckley, Jr. Prologue. Although a mere deputy, Colonel Dmitri looked up from his high-backed chair and whispered to his superior, "Sir, should I perhaps open the window?" General Vasily Lestovich Mishkin, hero of the Soviet Union, twice decorated with the Order of Lenin, Chief of Staff of the Armed Services of the Union of Soviet Socialist Republics, gazed at him wordlessly, his eyebrows contracting, the compressed sweat catching the light of the huge log fire obstinately, copiously fed by an orderly, maintaining a temperature in the smoky, airless, fur-covered anteroom of, Dmitri estimated, 90 degrees. Mishkin returned to staring at the fire, and Dmitri returned to his stiff uprightness, looking across at the two other deputies, and seated on the little sofa opposite the general, Admiral Nikolai Stepovich Fechitov, Chief of Soviet Naval Intelligence, the sweat staining the armholes of his crisp light blue jacket. And so they waited for the reappearance of the man who, invoking the august name just after 11 in the evening, 3 agonizing hours ago, had summoned them from their apartment to drive with him to Trionoshka, the dacha that sheltered the omnipotent, omniscient, omnicompetent leader and patron of them all. Reaching it, they were escorted by Captain Gektor Glazunov, personal aide to the marshal, into this anteroom, lit by a small lamp at one corner and by the firelight. They were stunned by the heat, a wrenching contrast to the creaky snow cold they experienced during the short silent walk from their limousines into the dacha. General Mishkin looked over at Ilyich, who had brought them here, chief of the KGB, responsible for the internal security of the Soviet Union and for intelligence operations worldwide, and whispered, "The heat?" General Mishkin had never before been summoned to Trionoshka, where, in progressive isolation, the marshal was now spending practically all his time. "He does that." Pyotr Ivanovich Ilyich had paid a dozen visits to Trionoshka since the days when it was gradually transformed from an occasional country lodging into a semi-permanent residence. He had often been summoned at midnight, been kept waiting in this room an hour, even 2, before being called by Glazunov into the windowless bedroom study. When the anteroom was hot, it always followed that so was the temper of the overseer of Trionoshka and of the Soviet Empire.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?